Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And look, I don't mean to overhype this video, but I don't think we've ever had 5 better decks than we do today. We've got 5 brand new decks for you, and I think that they're all completely freaking wild. I think this is the single best day of brand new decks in ages, if not ever. I am in freaking love with these lists. So let's not waste time. We're going to get right to it with this deck. This is a Derek Loki list. I credited Barzy a little bit in the title of it because Barzy sent it to me to be like, yo, pay attention to this list. I had a chance to test this out. This deck is so freaking good right now. This is where Loki is right now. It is basically run a bunch of tech cards and Loki, and then play your opponent's deck better than they can, while you end up having all the tech cards to answer what they're doing. But we need a way to get power in the list, and the ways to get power in the list right now are Marvel Boy, because Marvel Boy and Squirrel Girl is fundamentally 18 points on the board, and then that'll make you a cheap Mockingbird, which is also the cheapest 10 power you can get, especially if you're playing Loki cards. This list is awesome. I strongly urge you to check it out. All right, so Derek made this. Derek is Havoc OP. He was the number 2 player on the Infinite leaderboard last season. Barzy was either number 3 or number 4 last season, and this is the list he is currently playing as well. Spider-Ham and Nico can be Iceman Nebula. Echo and Nightcrawler are also possible replacements. I tend to like Nightcrawler a fair bit if you're using... Ooh, hello, Train. I tend to like Nightcrawler a fair bit if you're using Nightcrawler with Marvel Boy, because there's a lot of extra power in that. Copycat and Nocturne are just good cards for the list. Nocturne is really good as location control, particularly with Kate Bishop Hawkeye, but they can be Red Guardian, Polaris, and Juggernaut. The reason Nocturne works well with Kate Bishop is, and I'm telling everyone this to get ready for it, to get used to it, this is going to be a part of the Snap meta, is that the Grapple Arrow and Nocturne mean that if you have 4 energy, you can immediately change a location. You can in fact change at least 2 locations that game if you don't do that last turn, because you can do that to get rid of one location, and then that doesn't use Nocturne's natural move. You can move Nocturne again to get rid of another location. It is game changing how powerful that is. Kate Bishop is just too good for this list to not have. She is actually extremely important. She is actually extremely important here. Marvel Boy is how you get the early power you need. Loki is basically the whole deck, and Mockingbird is incredible. She is the only big that gets cheap enough to use. If you're desperate to try something else, you can try a Cull Obsidian. I know that's another expensive card. I don't really have a better choice, I'm sorry. Alright, so this is the top meta deck on the EU server. This is being played all over the place. Expect to start seeing this trickle into the rest of the meta as soon as people have these cards. This is also, in my opinion, the best Marvel Boy deck, including the Zoo decks. This feasts on Zoo decks. Turn 1, Squirrel over Ham. Turn 2, if you have Marvel Boy, the MB is Marvel Boy, they're not Mockingbird, sorry about that. You play another 1 if you have Marvel Boy. If not, you're dropping Kate to get some 1s. And if Kate is better than a 1 if you don't have Marvel Boy. Turn 3, if you have Marvel Boy, play Marvel Boy. That's just generally speaking better than Nocturne, which is more or less equal to Loki. If you're Loki, be careful of Cassandra, especially if you don't already have Shadow King in hand. Turn 4, Loki or Marvel Boy is better than any other 3. Your goal is to sort of go Squirrel Girl, Spider-Ham, or Kate, Marvel Boy, Loki, just so you know. Turn 5 is hopefully a cheap Mockingbird or General Good Stuff. A tech card that makes sense here is really good, particularly using a Shang here when you can Shadow King a different powerful card later, or using an Enchantress here to get rid of stuff like Blue Marvel and Khazar, and then you can end up Shanging their Mockingbird on the last turn. Stuff like that is what you're looking to do. Turn 6 is Mockingbird and Tech, or just Tech as need be. Cool. This list is awesome. I'm completely in love with it. I strongly urge you to try it. I think Loki is in an amazing place right now. Loki is not as good as he was as his own deck, where he was the best deck for arguably the better part of a year, but he is now significantly more fun. He's an example of how RNG can sometimes make cards a lot more interesting, whereas before it was just get as many cards as you can, so you get as many cards from the opponent's deck. Now there's a push and pull between what you have in hand and what you want to switch to in their deck, and then what you draw in their deck. It's great. So after this next bit, we're going to talk about the best arishem deck I've ever played, which is the current #1 deck in Marvel Snap. It's the Thumbnail deck. One last look at this list. Again, super awesome list. I urge you to try it out. It's reasonably expensive, but remember, at least 2/3 of the expensive cards are completely replaceable. Please hit that sub button if you're willing. We're trying our very best to get to 15,000 subs by the end of the year. I know it's a tall order, but you can help us get there by hitting that sub button. In return, we're going to do 7 days a week of videos with at least 3 new decks every single day, except for Saturdays where we do a giant podcast with some of Marvel Snap's biggest names. The podcast that released this Saturday will have the great Dakti on it, along with Black Dama. It's going to be amazing. We're going to take a look at all the data mine cards and all the cards coming this season, give you a full preview for everything. Please hit that sub button if you find any value in the content. We cover all things Marvel Snap. If you want bundle guides, we did 5 of those yesterday. Everything you need from Marvel Snap, including opinions on cards from the top players. So much content. In addition, we do the biggest giveaways in all of Marvel Snap. We give away something like 13 season passes every season. We give away 5 the week before the season starts. Those are given away. Monday's video if you missed it. And we're giving away 5 this week. A comment on every single video this week is a chance to win. We're going to announce those giveaway winners on Sunday's video. If you're here from the Marvel Snap YouTube, we're also going to announce that giveaway winner on Sunday, because honestly, the video went up a little bit later than was intended, so I want to give people a chance to see it, watch, and comment. So we're giving away 6 season passes, 1 on the official Marvel Snap YouTube, 5 here, Monday to Friday's videos. How this works is I, at some point this video, ask you to leave a comment. As long as you're subbed, as long as you liked, a winner will be picked from the comment section of this video. A winner will be picked from the comment section of yesterday's video. You get the idea. That's how it works every day on the channel. Cool. Once the giveaway ends at the end of this week, next week, the week after, there is still a giveaway of 1 pass per week. I'm not telling you what video it's on. It's going to be the exact same format, except it'll only be 1 video that has a chance to win. So if you watch, sub, like, comment, you have plenty of chances to win that season pass. In addition, I said this yesterday, I want to make sure people know it. On the Samsung store, there's a $1 for $10 of like Samsung bucks deal, where you can buy that for $1, use that, turn around, buy the season pass. So you can get the season pass for $1 this month if you're so interested. Go check it out if you have access to the Samsung store. You might have to delete and reinstall the game to do so. All right, we are running currently 13 alliances. I think we're like bordering up to 14. So if you'd like to join, please feel free. We have plenty of spaces for you. We have plenty of, and we'll keep adding more. Do the stuff on the screen. I'm not going to read to you. All you must do is join the Discord. The Discord is linked in the description to this video. In addition, usually on our Patreon, to join a tournament, you must be at least a $1 patron. We are offering an open to all King of the Hill single elimination awesome big tournament tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in joining, make sure you're on the Discord. Make sure you're able to sign up. All right. The next deck is Crazies. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I got a eyelash in my mouth. Lovely. Next up is Crazies Godari. This list is insane. This is so freaking good. We're going to look at the stats later, but I took a look at this and I was like, Crazy's just OP. Crazy is the #1 player in both March and April in the Marvel Snap Infinite Leaderboard. He's insane. There's no way this deck actually works. Then I played it. This deck is insane. I don't know what it is about the alchemy of these cards together in an arishem list, but this just works. It has so many plays, so much power, so many things to do. I strongly urge you to try it out. I am also using this list and basically just dominating and clearing my bounties by replacing Valentina with whatever card. I had a lovely Mr. Sinister in there earlier, and I went undefeated with the list with Mr. Sinister in the Valentina spot. This list is great. All right, you can find Crazy at twitch.tv/crazymsnap. He streams fairly regularly and absolutely dominates. Super high energy, really good time. Valentina for this list can be Cable or kind of whatever you want. Copycat, Cassandra, and Nocturne are just extra cards. I'm thinking Rogue, Juggernaut, Cosmo, Red Guardian, Gladiator. Any of those are perfectly fine replacements. If I had to choose 2, I'd probably go Red Guardian and Juggernaut. If I had to choose 3, I'd add Gladiator. Alioth can be Blob here. Alioth is better for this particular version, but Alioth can be Blob here. And Mockingbird and Loki are absolute requirements. You must have Mockingbird. You must have Loki in order to play this list. Cool? All right, so Crazy went 18-2 in high infinite and hit #1 on the infinite leaderboard with this list. Meanwhile, I played it and went a casual 10-2 in infinite, by the way. So I also, went 8-2 sub infinite. So I didn't count those stats. But this list is wildly strong, just phenomenal. So turn 1, Quinjet over Valentina. Turn 2, if you have Loki, please snap and play Loki over Cassandra Nova over Nocturne. Turn 3 is the same thing as turn 2. You can add the Valentina card if you played Valentina, or Mockingbird. Once in a while, you just play 2 outside cards and get Mockingbird real early. I guess you don't do that anymore. Now it would have to be turn 4. Excuse me. Math is hard. Although I guess it's possible you play 3 cheap cards by turn 3. Whatever. Turn 4, Vision if you can. Turn 5, Alioth or Mockingbird plus other cards. Turn 6, Control cards or Alioth. And then you win, because this is just insanely good. I know this deck doesn't look that special. I cannot explain how much I want you to try this so you can come back to me and be like, oh yeah, that just works. I don't know why this works as well as it does, and I play a lot of Marvel Snap, but this deck is sick. Again, the #1 deck on the Infinite Leaderboard right now, dethroning KX4N. So next up, we're going to tell you about the stream team, but after that, we've got an awesome Desmond Darkhawk deck. This is just such a cool Darkhawk deck, another top leaderboard deck. Today's decks are wild. If you'd one last look, at this before we go forward. So very quickly, this is alchemy, right? Like, there's certain combinations of cards that when put together, this is like arguably the best card at a lot of spots, but it's also just kind of some stuff that fits. Valentina gives you stuff that fits. Copycat creates stuff that fits. Cassandra Nova lets you win some mirrors, and also is just really powerful with Loki starting to turn up more. I love this list. Please play this list. Shadow King and Shang give you so much play into all the Zoo everywhere. Lokiing off their deck and having 1 extra energy against Zoo is freaking hilarious, especially if you have Quinjet. This is an insane list. So good. If you'd like to see gameplay from these, please check out the stream team. Today, being Friday, means the Pirate King himself, Tuccrr, will be streaming at 9 or 10 Eastern and playing a bunch of these decks. Go check it out. Give it a try. You won't be sad. Tomorrow morning, FaThorNewman, who's back at work. Sorry, FaThor. I'm still on vacation, bud. But FaThorNewman will be streaming all the decks from the week to try and find the best. And then Sunday will be the KingofCanada streaming the Sunday deck list to see how they are. Cool. Each person here releases a video the next day on their YouTube of the gameplay from these decks. So if you're interested, please check them out on Twitch or YouTube, whatever makes you happy. Hit a sub, show some love to our friends. All right, Desmond's Disco Hawk. Okay, so there's a version that was created by Shuri Enjoyer that's more similar to the old versions that was running Miles Morales and Silk and stuff. That was my highest win rate deck last season. This is basically a modern version of that, but it's just freaking meaner. This is just a meaner version of that list. I don't know how else to put it. This list is a total freaking jerk right now, and it's so strong. Moon Knight to get rid of opposing Shang-Chi's, to get rid of opposing Blobs, Goliaths, so on, is just so strong. You get 10 power out of playing that Moon Knight because Proxima is the only even costed card in your damn deck. Stature goes from an odd number to an odd number. That's also going to give you a 1/7 stature. So you're getting basically for 4 energy. If you can get Moon Knight to hit Proxima, you're getting 17 power for 4 energy. That's just a ton. This is mid-range stuff. There's junk all over the meta. So Viper is here. You can also just hit your own Hood, or you can clog using your Korg or Nico, whatever you want. Copycat gives you access to access and knowledge to their deck. Korg and Rockslide work with Cassandra Nova. If you play them before Cassandra Nova, now you get a bigger Cassandra Nova. Hello again, Train. Darkhawk is huge from these cards. Black Bolt is your backup way to play Stature. This is just beautiful synergy. Fantastic deck. I cannot recommend you follow Desmond more. And please go check out Desmond on YouTube at Desmond Korea. Watch him play this list. You will love it. Alliance Lowell just hit top 10 with this list today. You just can't cope stay against things that are clearly going taller. This is a climber against anything that's not going way over the top of you. Also, frickin' notable. Desmond is trying to keep content creating, and he's having a little trouble. Go watch the video about this deck, comment on it. Just say something along the lines of Snap Judgment sent me. Hit that sub button, follow Desmond. I'm going to give someone in those comments a season pass. Go support Desmond. Desmond needs some love. All right. Sorry. Just also, if you're not aware, Desmond is one of the most important creators in all of Marvel Snap. He creates a lot of the decks you know. You just don't know it because, well, he lives awfully far away from most of my viewers. But he's not huge, but he creates a ton of impactful stuff. He is one of the most meta impactful people that you don't know. All right, Nico can be Iceman or kind of whatever one drop you want here. Nico's very good, but don't feel like you have to be married to it. You could even add an extra 3 if you wanted, though you're getting a little heavier on 3s. There's some argument for like Juggernaut, but there's also argument for Cassandra or Copycat to be Nocturne, Black Widow, or Juggernaut. Black Widow is just an extra card that works really well with your Darkhawk, and it's very powerful. This does need Proxima and Darkhawk. That's 1 Series 5 card, 1 Series 4 card, so this is a relatively cheap deck to get into. Again, sub Desmond, comment, and I've got a pass for you. I'll give that away, I don't know, let's say Tuesday or so. Turn 1 is Hood over Korg. Turn 2, Korg and Demon. Obviously, you're fine playing Korg on turn 1. It's just if you can Hood on 1, then Korg is fine on 2 because you don't have any 2-drops. So turn 3, Rock Slide is better than Cassandra Nova because Rock Slide is going to make Cassandra Nova better. And that's better than Moon Knight. And you're trying to save Moon Knight for ideally Proxima. If you've got Rock Slide and Cassandra, it can be hard to fit Moon Knight in, but you can still Moon Knight on turn 5 just fine with another card. Turn 4 is the same basic thing as 3. Turn 5, if you have not managed to fit Moon Knight in, you can play Moon Knight here with another card, or you can drop Black Bolt. Black Bolt's a lot of power, you're perfectly fine, but if you have whatchamacallit in hand, if you have Proxima in hand, then Moon Knight is strictly better, right? Darkhawk is also perfectly fine to play here, especially if you Moon Knighted out their Shang already, or Enchantress already. Turn 6, Stature with what you can, and Stature and Darkhawk is your general, like, bog standard play. Darkhawk is big, Stature is big, win. Ready? Weekend mission time, and time to give some recommendations for some cards. Once we take one last look at this thing of beauty, again, today's decks, just off the charts good. I love classic Darkhawk. This ends up being one of my like 2 or 3 best win rate decks every time I play a Darkhawk list that looks anything like this. I dominate with it. This is just good mid-range. It's got very clear snap and retreat patterns. It's got very clear stay and go patterns. What you're looking to run from is stuff that you can't overpower. Like, if they're going to have a 40 power null, you're not winning that game, right? You better hope that Moon Knight hits it. If they're going to have that extremely powerful Deadpool, you're not taking that game. The tech cards are even cost, so you don't run them with Moon Knight. However, there's plenty of games where that doesn't happen, where people are just playing sort of fair Marvel Snap, and you can absolutely win those matches. This deck, by the way, if you're playing against Sandman, is hilarious at getting rid of Ultron. If you can get rid of Ultron, yes, snap. You can also get free power onto the board, although at that point you want to try and make sure you Moon Knight early, so you can have your big turn on turn 5, and then play Darkhawk on turn 6. That Sandman deck is still like the scourge of the meta. It's still everywhere. All right, weekend mission decks. We've got 4 Kate Bishop decks, 2 with a full feature at the end. Those are from Woody, Yo Woody MJ, and Den. So, you know, just 2 casual, small Marvel Snap names. We've got 1 more Marvel Boy deck to take a look at, and then 1 more deck with both. The very first deck also had both cards in it, so if you have both cards, you can play that one as well for weekend missions. One more thing, we're not covering a basic zoo today. Sorry, we're just not. Like, we covered multiple basic zoos. If you watch Wednesday, I believe Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday's video, we have plenty of basic zoos for you. I think the Wednesday basic zoo is the best of them, so go check that out. All right, weekend review for Hawkeye Kate Bishop is buy it. Buy this card now. Stop wasting time. Buy it. This is about as good as Jeff. This is like probably maybe a little worse, right? Close to Jeff, close to White Widow. Those are 6,000 tokens, which is worth so much more than $10. Get Kate Bishop Hawkeye. This is a must-own freaking card. The stats are really good. The play is really good. Just so you're aware, the important arrows are grapple and acid. Grapple ends up really good for multiple tricks of how and where you play things. You can play a card into, for example, Shuri's Lab and pull it out. You can do all sorts of cool stuff like that and get the bonus. I was able to play a card into Krakoa and pull it into the +5 to all cards location, Nidavellir, I believe. And it got, like, the next card got the plus whatever power, 9-ish power, the extra +5 from Nidavellir on it. It was so cool. There's so much to like here from this card. And Acid Arrow is just completely OP. One of the best 1-drops in the game. So please, freaking go get Kate Bishop. Cool. Our Kate Bishop deck number 1 is from The Great Nerf Herder. You can find Nerf Herder by typing Nerf Herder MS or Nerf Herder Marvel Snap into YouTube. Please go watch him play this list. You will not be sad you did. This is a pure junk. Right now, Annihilus is phenomenal. The reason Annihilus is phenomenal is because Kate Bishop being everywhere, a lot of people are trying various junk-based strategies, that use cards like Hazmat. Excuse me. And Annihilus is an amazing answer for them. Nerf Herder is the only person I see leaning into the answer to that, but we have the answer. So if you're struggling into these lists and you have Annihilus, that's where you go. This list is otherwise just really powerful. It's running the Thena package along with an Annihilus package, right? Thena is a nice simple package that gets combined with other things. Actually, it's not running the Thena package. It's running Thena and Ravonna. And then it uses Hawkeye to have the extra ones to play to make sure that you're getting your triggers. Selene hitting Hood, Green Goblin, or Hobgoblin is amazing here. Try not to hit your Thena, right? But if you did hit like a White Widow with it, then Vipering that over is totally fine. You've got the extra clog from Kate Bishop. You can play Sentry and pull it into the right lane if you need to. Just tons of amazing plays. The only card here that's not like total synergy stuff is Gladiator, who's just, I do stats. Is all Gladiator's here for, but he is a lot of freaking stats. So this is a great list. Do give it a try. Again, note that like the tech here is clogging the shit out of your opponent and making them overcome a bunch of negative power when they don't have any board space. Next up, we have Revis. Revis you can also find by hitting Revis MS or Revis Marvel Snap. Revis is one of the top creators. He's been in the top 10 of the Infinite Leaderboard. He is an amazing deck builder. You might know Revis because there was a giant controversy several months ago where Revis created a Sarah deck that was like exactly his list, and Cozy found it on Untapped and didn't seem to imply that he created it and didn't credit Revis. Revis is an important deck builder in the game. Just genuinely phenomenal player. Here, he's taken a classic list. This is that list that no one could figure out who the fuck made. There was this list I featured a few weeks ago that I sent to everyone on Earth that had really great high infinite leaderboard stats, and no one knew who made it. It was basically built around going Gwenpool into Mysterio into Mockingbird Sasquatch. This is that list, except it changes up a bunch of cards because, well, Kate Bishop really, really works well in fundamentally everything. You know what Kate Bishop is here? A good frickin' card. Is she doing anything else special? She makes your Mockingbird Sasquatch cheaper. She gives you extra things to play. That's kind of it. She gives you an extra clog with White Widow. And it. She's just a good card. You can get an extra Angela or Hope trigger from 2 of the arrows. Just a really, really strong card. Gives you an extra 1-drop to use when you don't have Kitty. Outside of that, this is just a powerful deck that does powerful things. Nothing fancy, right? Play big cards. Win Marvel Snap games. Awesome deck. Props to Revis for coming up with this very cool one. And again, Revis has a YouTube video about this, so if you want some gameplay, you want to hear Revis talk about it, and watch Revis dominate with it, go check this out. This is, all of these, by the way, are decks that performed well pre-Infinite and then are still performing post-Infinite. Weekend review for Marvel Boy. I'm getting closer and closer to him being a must-buy. As of yesterday, what I was going to argue was that he is only really good in Zoo, and unless you want to play Zoo or Thanos, we had a Thanos deck yesterday, you don't really need him. However, he's starting to find his way as a points package into other decks. That might make him worth it more. So I'm about a 55 to 60% on buy Marvel Boy right now. I'm going to need to see what the stats look like after the weekend missions, and I'm going to have to figure out how to look at non-Zoo stats only in order to be able to give a full recommendation. But that first deck is really good, and it only works with Marvel Boy. So there is something here for this card. I'm strongly considering this being a must-buy. Again, I'm not all the way there, but I'm leaning toward buy. So if that's enough for you to aim for the tokens with this card, or if you like Zoo. If you like Zoo, just buy it now. Cool. Then this is a great card. Marvel Boy is a lot of power. All right. W decided to basically try and break the meta mirrors with all these Sandman decks and all the other Zoo decks because Patriot makes your Ultron clones bigger, right? Patriot allows you to go wider and higher than the other decks. Marvel Boy is obviously in the list as just another way to add more power. You're just saying I'm going to go bigger than other Zoo decks and the Sandman decks the other Zoo decks that are in Gilgamesh and the other Sandman decks that are running Ultron. You get to play as either a Zoo deck or an anti-Sandman deck here. Either one works fine. W, by the way, is the best deck builder in the history of Marvel Snap, or at least the most important. He created a Thanos build, like a major Thanos build that dominated the meta, multiple versions of Doomwave, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. It doesn't exist anymore. It was nerfed out of existence because it was too good. And he created the Guardians lockdown list that was everywhere around November, December last year. When W creates a list, we need to take a look at it. W does not have a YouTube, though. You would have to hit W_Marvel Snap on Twitter to follow W. But if you want to see gameplay for this, you should check out Prashaun, our homie Prashaun, Prashuan. You should go check out Prashaun, who has a video up on this already. That's the reason we didn't feature it. We were totally going to feature this deck. But I want you to go check out Prashaun, because Prashaun's a member of the stream team, an awesome person, a good friend, and has a full guide on this. But this list basically says, I can beat you any way I want. I have more power than you can deal. And because I know someone's going to ask, why isn't Armor Kyera? Because you don't have the cost curve space. Because this deck's cost curve leans sort of heavy, and you want to try and be as careful as you can to play around that. Armor will also protect Cull Obsidian and Gilgamesh, which Kyera will not. Ooh. All right. Our final deck of this section, before we go back to 2 full back-to-back deck guides, is Safety's Loki list. This is another Marvel Boy and Kate deck. I played this a bit pre-infinite. I had like a 65% win rate pre-infinite. It's really good. It basically says I can do the Marvel Boy thing, or I can do the Loki thing, or I can do the Thena thing. You have multiple win conditions and a ton of power. It felt like this could have a little too little power if it didn't get the Marvel Boy going, but when it did, it was just as good as anything, right? You're triggering Thena, and you get Thena to about 10 power by the end of the game. Marvel Boy is generating like 14, 15 power, and then you've got a super cheap Mockingbird, you've got the synergies of Hawkeye, you've got the extra energy, you've got Shang to remove problems. Beautiful list. Just super strong, really fun. Kitty Pride with Marvel Boy on the board often feels unfair. Kitty getting +2 power return is silly. We knew that from when she was the best card in the game, when she used to get +2 power return, and now she's every freaking bit as good. So check out this list, and check out Safety Blade on Twitch at twitch.tv/safetyblade. He's one of the best players in the world. He created the Slayer Blade deck, the deck that had Cannonball, Professor X, Ravonna, and Thena. That was all over the place, the best deck in the game before it was nerfed away. They literally killed Professor X for the sins of that deck. So Safety is, again, legit. Today is the best day we've ever had of decks. For example, here's Den's bowling ball list. Den decided to do a cannonball frickin' bounce list. That's also a junk bounce list. That's also a move list. Come on. I told you earlier that the 2 best Hawkeye arrows were the move arrow. Well, guess what? Vulture is in this list, and Dagger is in this list, and the junk arrow. Cool. Green Goblin, Viper, Hood, White Widow. Clog and win. You can move and win. You can combine the 2. Love it. Full guide time. So we're not going to actually do replacements for this list, largely because there's another similar list that Yo Woody MJ has. That's our next list. Yeah, we're going from Den to Yo Woody. We just went Safety, Den, Yo Woody, back to back to back. So we've got a Yo Woody MJ list. Yo Woody MJ was the number 3 player on the Infinite Leaderboard last season. Unbelievable player. Probably the best American player in the country right now as far as laddering goes. So we're going to take a look at Yo Woody MJ list that's similar to this. Feel free to smash them together. If there's a card that's not really in both, well, you're going to have to figure it out. Although, if you don't have Cannonball and you do want to play this exact list, just throw in Shang, you'll be fine. All right. I don't know what the hell I was trying to write there, so who cares? Turn 1, Hood or Nico only. Do not start doing your move shit early, although you can start doing your move shit for Vulture on turn 2. Kate or White Widow are preferable. You can set up a move, but if you're going to set up a dagger move, you really, really want it to be a bounce. Turn 3, Goblin, Viper, or bounce. I know what I was going to say at first. We'll go back to that. Turn 4, start using your movers. Turn 5, you can either finish using movers, like you can punch one, then pull one. You can play one with the grapple arrow, then you can ghost spider it, etc. Or you can use Cannonball if your short Cannonball will clog a location. Sometimes they have 3 at 2 locations. Feel free to clog one. And then turn 6, you move or you drop Cannonball to win. Either which way totally works. And the if two top is if two top players and creators, if both Den, a French Marvel Snap Zone writer who's one of the most important, impactful people in the meta, and Yo Woody MJ, the best American player, are coming up with the same basic concept of decks, then you should be looking into this. This is going to be powerful. This is going to be prevalent. This is going to be something you're going to see and you're going to need to know. Dagger is going to get to between 12 and 24 power basically always, and that's your like main power source. And outside of that, you're trying to a McClog and Cannonball here. Sweet deck. Next up, we have Yo Woody MJ's Kate deck. It's literally what he named it, Kate deck. So this is Kate Bishop, Hawkeye again. Kate is again here being used for the exact same thing. It is both a move card. Hello, dagger. Only dagger here. So you're just basically saying dagger, or I'm just using you as like an extra card to like reposition potentially for some of those tricks I talked about earlier in the video. Or you can use the acid arrow to clog. And the other arrows are fine, right? Like you're not sad to have the other arrows, but they're not priorities. Ravonna here in this list is for the goblins and Cassandra Nova and Sage and dagger. That's insane. If you can get a 1-cost dagger, your end game can be something like dagger 1, Iron Fist, Ghost Spider, or Grapple Arrow. So that's 4 energy, right? Sorry, 3 energy, because you can't play Grapple Arrow, Ghost Spider, in it. So 3 energy. Sage, Hazmat. Oh, nope. Sage is 4/5. Sage or Hazmat. So that's, I don't know, feels like a reasonable amount of power to drop at the end of the game, right? You've got that ridiculous 24 power dagger that you can follow up with the Sage, or if you have Ajax on the board, you can follow up with the Hazmat or you can play Hazmat first to make Ajax like a 20 power card and win a lane, as your opponent's trying to overcome having goblins and Widow's Kisses on their side of the board. Widow's Kiss is particularly good with dagger, by the way, because your opponent wants to fill that location, so that's almost guaranteed a 12 power dagger. All right, you can find YoWoodyMJ at twitch.tv/YoWoodyMJ. See the last deck for changes, but if you don't have Ajax, you can include a small Darkhawk package. It is not easy to include, but it is doable. You're going to have to cut Cassandra Nova for Rockslide and Hazmat for Korg, and then you just add Darkhawk, and you'll be okay. Cool. All right, so this is freaking everywhere, too. I played this list like 5 or 6 times last night to the point where I was doing okay against it, and I was like, you know what, I'm running a Nihilist, and I ran a Nihilist, and a Nihilist messes this shit up. Turn 1 pass, turn 2 Ravonna over Hawkeye, which is more or less equal to Widow, Hawkeye obviously being Hawkeye Kate Bishop. Turn 3, Cassandra Nova or a Goblin is better than a 2. I would generally rather start clogging than playing Cassandra Nova, but Cassandra Nova has enough value that you're not sad. You can also end up, I wish I could fit Thena, because you can also, if you go Ravonna, go Thena Cassandra Nova or Thena Goblin on turn 3, which is just freaking OP. Turn 4, if you can Hobgoblin. If not, you clog as much as you can. Turn 5, if you clog, you get yourself a big dagger and use Hazmat. If not, you just drop Ajax. Then turn 6, huge dagger and Hazmat. And so much power. Just sick list. Please try it out. Like today's decks, man. Just try them out. This is insane. I didn't even mention Sage. If you'd like to, feel free to drop Sage in there too. Right? Like sometimes you're not going to have the extra move card for dagger, or you missed dagger, and now you're going to use Sage to win a lane. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes you're going to have Ajax and not Hazmat, or Hazmat and not Ajax, but then you have dagger, and you can use dagger and Sage to win. Either which way works fine. This list is awesome. Today's decks are insane. This is a new meta of amazingly creative new decks. Love Kate Bishop for doing this to the meta. Questions of the day, Patreon, and we out. Alright, so models, the mods of Reem asks how long the Marvel Snap official YouTube video is before it got edited down. So I don't know if y'all know this, but every video is a one-shot take for me, except for that one. That is the only video that has ever appeared on the channel that has been edited in any real significant way, outside of like, I guess, podcast episodes where there were technical difficulties. So right now on the official Marvel Snap YouTube, we did the guide to the season, including Kate Bishop, Marvel Boy, and every Spotlight Cash. If you would check that out, it would be awesome. On the 2 or 3 slides from now, I'm going to have a link to it if you're willing to check that out. So the video is 1 hour and 7 minutes long because I cover decks from creators all around the world, every Spotlight Cash, every variant, all that good stuff. And obviously both cards. So everything you need is in that single video. It's 1 hour and 7 minutes long, and it's edited. However, it's not edited down that much. What's edited largely is like misspeaks and pauses. So it ended up being like about I believe, about 10 minutes longer and then was edited down. So not a ton of editing there, mostly just, a little bit of graphics, a little bit of gameplay, stuff like that added into what I was already doing. The King of Questions, Lee, asks if Snap Once Unique Collections wouldn't last week have been the perfect time for a special variant with no new card. Yes, it would have, but here's an impression I get, because Cassandra Nova was not officially originally data mined as not being in Spotlight Cash. She was, in fact, originally data mined as Spotlight Cash card. They decided to do Deadpool's Diner, and they decided they needed something special to do for Deadpool's Diner. When they decided to do something special for Deadpool's Diner, they realized they didn't have a card prepared for that. And Cassandra Nova was the perfect thematic card, so they put her in. They didn't have a plan for this. They didn't have a backup variant. They didn't know exactly how they were doing it. They probably had to get approvals. Everything was last minute. So yes, this would have been an amazing opportunity, but no, I don't believe there was actually a chance to do that. Mandatory Burnout asks an X-Men related question. So if you've read the Krakoa era, this is based on that of the current X-Men comics. If you haven't, go find House of X, Powers of X, read it, and read the whole Krakoan era. I love the Krakoan era of X-Men. Would I prefer to move to Arakko or have a season? I don't know why I wrote season, on Krakoa's Quiet Council. So Arakko is too survival of the fittest-y for me. There's a lot of you can kill people for honor, ritual battles, stuff like that I don't really like. So I'd like to visit Arakko, but have no interest in living there. I don't really want to be on the Quiet Council, but I'd much rather be on the Quiet Council and then be in Arakko, even if that means I might get mind controlled by Emma Frost or some outside agency, or controlled by Mr. Sinister or whatever. I think I'd rather take my chances with being on the current council and trying to do the right thing and prevent tragedy than go to Arakko and probably get murdered relatively quickly. This is going to be a quick one, sorry. Koire asks if I play board games. Nope. I used to play a lot when we'd go out with couples or go out with friends that did, but COVID kind of killed that, and I never got back into it. I never really learned to play board games. I would learn that day, whatever game people wanted to play, and play it, and I would always have a really good time. I was usually pretty good, but it was never my thing. I don't really own any, so on and so forth. But I'm always interested, so here we are. All right, we have a Patreon. That was a weird slide transition. We have a Patreon. On our Patreon, patreon.com/snapjudgments, we have a free tier, which you can join the Discord and join any alliance you want. A $1 tier, which gives you access to all of our tournaments and a deck database of all the different of all the decks from the videos for the past month. It's a relatively new thing, but it's going to continue every day. Today's decks are already there. For the $5 tier, you get early access to videos and extra access to me for questions and stuff. And obviously all the earlier tiers. $10 tier, you get thanks on every video. You get an exclusive weekly video, at least one, and more stuff. So if you're interested, please check it out. All right, I'd like to say thank you to Abigail Gieslin. These are the $10 patrons, by the way. If you'd like your name here, please. Abigail Gieslin, Mandatory Burnout, Cables. We need to chat, Cables. If you're seeing this, shoot me a message on Discord. Matt H, number 1, there's 2. Irregardless, David J. Wingfield, Direwolf, Always Kind, LAB, FaThorNewman. Check him out on YouTube and Twitch. Good Dog Gamer, Deuce Velt, Inc. I Am Frostman, Jay Neverite, Gorwin, Prime Brian, Heretics Lee, Coy Ray. Hey, we just saw both of them ask questions. Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, Quid Pro Joe, the King of New Marvel Snap Card Content, Docty, Rat Nick, Ginger Prime, hey Ginge, Ratco, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Extras V and Skippy G, Tommy Nyquist, who won Snap Judgments League Season 1 and is sponsoring Season 3. Your Bros Bro, Black Dahlia, one of our mods, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Woody, Kev C. Hoda, Luna Chris, Quantum Quinn, John Q, newest friend alert, Clam, 8th Sage, a new friend who also won a season pass, Mod Supreme Models, Darth, Tater, Remus Atala, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, J.D. McDonaldinho, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Matt H. See, told you there were 2. DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, Seamus, Jonesy, Two Ties, my lines later, Lauren Whatevs, who is amazing. The Pirate King Tuccrr, who will be streaming tonight, and you'll be watching for the stream team, right? The Homie Min, missed you. And of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. Did you check out the official Marvel Snap YouTube video yet? Because I really think you should. Also, join the Discord for that tournament tonight. Don't forget, don't miss out. You'll be sad if you do. I'll see you there. Peace.